Okay, so apparently the device I'm recording on didn't have enough storage to continue with the video, so it kind of got cut off while I was talking. So this is going to have to be part two. I have about an hour. I have a watch I'm going to keep next to me. I hope this doesn't have to go to like a part three or part four. I do have some more things I was going to talk about, so I might as well just continue with this. What was I talking about? I think I was talking about hands, right? By the way, I miss hands. Like, that was a core part of In the Groove's identity, were hand charts. And, today, pretty much everything can be bracketed, especially with singles. I kind of think like patterns like left, down, right, left, and then hand on the up arrow. Something like that might be hard to bracket, but, I remember when hands were popular, I thought charts were a lot more fun. I put a lot of emphasis on hands in my own chart. It's a good workout for the quads, too. And I remember, all the salty DDR players watching ITG players and say, hey, why don't you guys come off the bar? And the ITG players would grin and say, okay, watch me bend down, come off the bar and hit this hand. And the DDR players would be like, not like that, though. They didn't like that. But, hand charts are very important to me. And I think I was saying something like, my first hand chart for 9, that's what I was talking about. It was Twilight Zone, New OCD by Scarlet Peace. I was saying something like, I went all out with that chart, with the difficulty in the hands. And, but I was also saying something like, it's not rhythmically complex, that song. And I was saying something like, neither were the next two songs that I stepped. They weren't very rhythmically complex. And I was getting discouraged about that because, I felt like I had limitations as to what I could step with, just the default skin. And I was talking to my friend one day about this. His name's Elias Ors, and just a big shout out to him. I'll put his YouTube channel in the description. I just wanted to say, Elias, he made the graphic banner for me. I just want to say, Elias, thank you so much for making that graphic banner. I really appreciate it. You did an amazing job on it. Your gringo friend really likes it a lot, so thank you so much. And I talk to Elias whenever I have a question about StepMania or something like that. He's a lot smarter than me when it comes to, knowing about StepMania. He does coding and stuff. And, I don't like to bother the OutFox developers when I have questions. I only like to go to them if my friend can't help me with a question, because I don't like to bother them because they're busy. So if my friend can't answer a question or I have a bug to report, then yeah, I'll go talk to the OutFox developers. But I was talking to him one night, and I was saying, I'm really discouraged about stepping more rhythmically complicated songs for 9-panel. And I said, I feel like I've been after these OutFox developers for years about having a feature where you can, when you drop the arrows in the editor, the colors show, not just in playback mode, but while you're dropping them in. And he said, okay, give me a second. And he comes back and he has a solution for me. Nowadays in OutFox, all you have to do is go to options in the editor, select your note skin, and boom, it works. But back then, I think he had me go into like metrics.ini, note skins, global note skin, type in the note skin you want, hit save, exit out, open the game, and boom, it worked. And I was thrilled. This was huge. This had to be one of the most important updates to happen in StepMania for me personally. And I've been waiting a very, very long time for something like this, because now this means I don't have any restrictions when it comes to stepping the more difficult genres like dubstep, rap, or complextro. I remember when I was trying to make my very first pump doubles chart. What song was that? That was Chemical Burn from Unreal Tournament 3. And I had intended to make a lot of doubles charts for that. And I tried. My first time I tried, I got into about 10% of that chart and I quit. Why did I quit? Well, I couldn't stand not having the note skin colors show while you drop them in the editor. And it's kind of funny because, my brain felt like I needed that extra support for doubles. It didn't bother me on singles. I was not bothered by the default skin on singles when it came to stepping pump charts, but for some reason, it really bothered me for doubles. And I never finished that chart. Obviously, later on, I had to suck it up and get used to it because Hooves 1 and 2, they were Pump It Up Pro singles and doubles charts as well. I got used to it to the point where it didn't bother me. It didn't bother me anymore, but I wouldn't say that I actually enjoyed it. And obviously, now that I'm doing techno has a lot more arrows to deal with than pump doubles, and the arrows are a lot more tinier, so they're hard to see. So if you've got colors flying all over the place and you can't see them, you're going to be making a lot of mistakes in your chart. Now, maybe I can't speak for you, but I can speak for myself. I'm going to be making a ton of mistakes, and I'm going to be miserable because I'm going to be having to zoom in and out of that step chart every few measures, and I'm going to be making a lot of mistakes. But now that's not a problem. Now that I have the colors, I felt like I could do whatever I want, and there's nothing to hold me back. So this was absolutely huge for me. It really was. And I kept grinding. After that, I just kept going and going and going with the song list. And I'm basically here to the point now where I tell you, In the Hooves Ponied Up 3 is finished. Is it perfect? No, it's not. Did I do the best that I possibly could? Yes, I did. I always try my best. And I guess I'm going to give you a little bit of a spoiler. I technically started In the Hooves Ponied Up 4. I have about 20 songs finished. I should probably start uploading them very soon after I, upload these vlog videos or whatever I'm going to call them. I want to apologize for how long this has taken me. And there are 3 reasons for that. Number 1, I was waiting for some very specific OutFox features to drop. And when they did, they were buggy, and I had to wait for fixes. And normally what I did with Hooves 1 and 2 is that every time I finished 25 songs, I'd share an update, like, here you go, you guys can play with something while I work on finishing the whole pack. And I realized that there were some people out there who didn't even know that Hooves 2 had 100 songs, and some people were missing songs from the packs. And, I put a download link in the playlist descriptions every time I hit 25 songs. It was kind of clunky and confusing. And for just this one pack, I decided, let me just do the full 100, because I don't want anybody to get left behind with, missing content and stuff like that. So that was one reason. That's a smaller reason, but it was still a reason. The second reason is that I tried everything I could possibly do to get some kind of agreement where I can work together with the people from StepMania. And I remember sending a DM to the lead developer of that game, and the DM was so long that I had to send it in a text file. Was that text file too wordy and repetitive? Yes, it was, but I felt like it kind of had to be, because there had been so much miscommunication and misunderstandings between us throughout all these years, and I really wanted to make sure that we were on the same page with what I was, planning. What did it say? Well, it said a lot of things. Basically, I said, I have a lot of flaws with my pack, with Hooves. I have a lot of flaws with it. And I pointed out all the flaws. I also pointed out things that I thought were very problematic with StepMania and how things are handled with that game. And I said, let's put aside all our differences, work together, and bring the Bronies stepping community the best Brony pack that we can possibly make. I said, of course, I'm not going to pressure you guys to put legacy step types in your charts, even though I had no intentions to do that to begin with. But I said, you guys sure as heck aren't going to bother me about censoring my charts when it comes to the legacy step types. And censorship of other people's step charts is one thing that really separates Hooves from StepMania. But another thing is the censorship of music itself. And, I don't put these edgelord songs in from the early, like 2011 to 2013, or you could even say 2016, or whenever the heck Yelling at Cats left the fandom. But, I don't put these edgy songs in to offend anybody, to make anybody angry or upset. They're in there for quite a few reasons. One of them is the quality is astounding with some of these edgier songs. And, we don't take rock and roll songs out of the Hall of Fame just because they might have a vulgar lyric or something. And these songs are extremely well made. And it's also that every single Brony out there, well, maybe except Rhyme and Yamino, just about every single Brony out there craves to have these songs in StepMania. They're extremely well made, and they're absolute mega hits from the fandom. And, I was pointing out, like, how are you going to have a project as big as Who's or StepMania? Because I kind of treat my pack like a museum of, Brony music. You can look at the history and enjoy it again. But how are you going to have a project as big as StepMania and not have mega hits like Mike the Microphone Sonic Rhyme Boom? How are you not going to have Yelling at Cats is Gun Cake, not have Yelling at Cats is Gun Cakes or What Went Wrong? How are you not going to have songs that don't even have any profanity in them but still technically can't be allowed in StepMania? Like Alex S's remix of the 20% Cooler song now. I've heard many, many bronies claim that is quite literally the best remix to ever come out of the fandom. The point is, you need these songs in a pack that's going to be massive, like Hooves and StepMania. And I had a lot of ideas about how we could go about that. Ultimately, the best solution would be to have some kind of family filter. And I really don't want to put words in Squirrel's mouth, the lead developer of OutFox, because I know he gets very upset when anybody says anything slightly misinforming about his project. But every time I talk to him, I've brought this up like 3 or 5 times already, and every time I bring it up, he always says, it's going to be on the way. So I hope I'm not going to make him mad when I say this, but it really does sound like a family filter is confirmed for OutFox, and I've been pushing for something like that since the Moondance server. Way back then, I was always pushing for some kind of feature to have a family filter. Even though I know like 99% of people won't use something like that, it's still nice to just have that option. Have something where, let's say you have 100 songs and 10 of them are edgy. You can have the family filter block them, and in white lettering on the song pack have 90, show 90, and then maybe in parentheses in red lettering show 10, show the amount of how many songs are blocked by the filter. Something like that would work perfectly fine. And when that was pretty much confirmed, I hope it still is. Squirrel, please don't get mad at me if it's not. But I said, well, now we don't have an excuse why we can't merge. I don't believe in, I wanted to say, I don't believe in treating my adult fans like they're toddlers wearing DDR soft pads for diapers in terms of lyrical content and chart mental comprehension skills. If you want to be treated like that, go play StepMania. I don't say that to be harsh, but when I was going through StepMania and I started having a slow realization about, what you can and can't do with this game, I felt like I was being treated like that, and I don't appreciate it. And I listen to all of you. I know what you want me to step. I do my absolute best to step all of your requests. And I'm just going to say this right now. I haven't brought this up on YouTube because I was always afraid. I get overwhelmed very easily, and I get plenty of requests on other social media sites. But if you want to request a song, you can do that. You can list like your top 5 or top 10 favorite Brony songs that you think I might do a good job with stepping, and I will look at them. I will watch them. I have some downtime. Sometimes I play chess or some emulators, and I listen to Brony music, and that's when I really start brainstorming, whether it's ideas of my own or other people, what they suggested, and I start getting step charting ideas while I do stuff like that. But you can leave me a small list if you wish. That's fine with me. So, that was a very long DM I sent, and I sent that, I don't even know how many years ago. I'm being completely honest. It could be 3, it could be 5, it could even be 7. I don't know, but guess what? I never got a reply. And it's frustrating. This thing's going to be a little bit confusing to talk about because, I'm in the StepMania Outpost server, and if you ask them a question, like if it's related to the game, like where can I download StepMania 5, where's the theme or something like that, they get back to you in a second. Lickety split. It's amazing how fast they get back to you. But if you ask them a question that makes them even slightly uncomfortable, you're getting ignored. And I've had a lot of questions asked, and I don't get any responses. And that just doesn't go for the lead developer there. That goes for the entire development team. You get ignored a lot. And I've seen that's not just with me, that's with other people. And, you ask a question, you're not trying to be rude. I don't go there and say, a DDR sucks, ITG's a lot better, you should be more like me. No, I'm not like that. I try to be polite. And I just ask a serious question about, maybe something about the DM I sent, and I get nothing. And it's frustrating. I do want to say that there did seem to be some kind of plans for us, and there did seem to be some kind of hope. I am in their private channels. I see their ideas and development progress with their games. And it seemed like they were thinking about maybe having like some of the hard legacy charts that I made as like boss battles or something for their lore or something. I don't follow StepMania lore, but like something like that sounded kind of cool. Or like the rest of the legacy charts or ITG charts could be their own edit color. And, you know, even though I said something like, it kind of feels like you treat ITG players like they're second class with that, ultimately that's the way to go. And I agreed with that. That's the only approach to getting the packs to merge together and work as one. So there seemed to be a lot of hope. And if you look on their website, there's like a post called 6 Cents. And that was clearly directed towards me. And it was also directed towards a couple of other ITG steppers in that group. But it doesn't seem like it's going to happen now. Like, there was some hope. And obviously there had to have been one naysayer on their development team. I think we all know who that is. I'm not going to say his name. But it's disappointing. It's disappointing because you can't say I was lazy about it. I tried my absolute hardest to work with them, to get some agreements and to brainstorm ideas where everybody can be happy, everybody can win. So I know that there were some people who were very excited about, you know, a possible merger. I had one fan of StepMania who also likes my step send me like a mock-up picture of what hooves inside of StepMania could look like in his eyes, and he was very excited about that. I also know that there are people who definitely hate my guts and they hate my charts, and it's kind of funny. I came across a blog called In the Groove Was a Mistake, and it was written by a StepMania / DDR superfan, and it was one of those long blog posts where a lot of words were written, but no good points were made. Really, no good points were made. And there was even like some criticism of me, like the author said something like, I once saw lift arrows in an ITG chart. Does the community just have no standards whatsoever? You know, stuff like that is so fascinating to me because, you know, like I was saying earlier in the first video, most DDR players, they don't care about dance game history. They don't want to know about it. It's like, you know, I'm angry. Well, why are you angry? I'm angry because people are playing ITG and they're enjoying themselves and they're not being miserable like me. Well, do you want a solution? Do you want an explanation? You know, do you know or care that ITG practically brought DDR out of its grave and brought the series back to life? No, I don't want to know that. I don't want a solution. Well, what do you want? I want to be mad. Well, go throw your toys in the corner or something. Nobody really cares, you know? But, you know, the psychology of, like, I'm kind of fascinated by it. This is not just, you know, I'm not pointing this blog out to make this person feel bad, but in my experience, the majority of DDR players feel exactly like him. And that's kind of what fascinates me so much about it. But yeah, I know there are people who definitely don't like my charts. That person is obviously one of them. And I know there are people who don't like StepMania at all. And if they're bronies, they would rather play something that's well made, like the Arrows or Magic series out. Now, this is the second time I brought this up. If you don't know what Arrows or Magic is, please go check that series out. It has perfect graphic banners, it has perfect steps, it has full difficulties, it has doubles, and it has mod files. I mean, it makes StepMania and both StepMania and my pack look like horseplot. Or, you know, maybe I shouldn't say that because some of you sick freaks out there actually like horse plots. So maybe that's not a very good analogy. I can't believe I just said that. But anyway, you know, what was the value in it that I saw in it for them? The value in it, a merger I saw in it for them was they're practically getting the most dedicated pony stepper on this earth. They're getting somebody who can step for multiple game modes, all with doubles. They're getting someone with, as of now, more content for like 3 separate StepMania mixes. They're getting someone who can think outside of the box and someone who can come up with new and clever ideas with legacy stepping and try to do things that maybe other people haven't done before, stuff that's really unique and fun. What was the value in it for me? Well, the value in it for me was that ever since I started stepping, I've always wanted to belong to a group of steppers. Like, I've kind of wanted my own little pwn home I can belong to and write charts. And, you know, like I said, but I might have mentioned this before, as long as there's no drama, I wanted to write charts with a group of people, and this seemed like the group of people that would work out well for me. And to add to that, I have some flaws, and I have some very obvious glaring flaws with my charts. I don't think it takes a rocket scientist to figure it out, but I'm pretty awful with syncing. Now, when I say syncing, I don't think I'm talking about song cuts. There were probably about no more than 3 song cuts I've ever made where I kind of had to guess. And, but other than that, you know, it's kind of funny. Back then when I started stepping, I didn't know how to do song cuts. I thought it was like some kind of top secret among the ITG elites and the highest level of the Illuminati. Like, only those people knew how to make good song cuts that worked. And I thought that, like, offset placement was something you just hit the F11 key a bunch of times and it'll work eventually. But the reality, the reverse is kind of true. Finding a good offset placement can be very, very difficult, but for the most part, cutting a song takes me usually less than a minute. Sometimes, you know, you have to think a little bit more if you need to make smaller StepManiacs-like cuts. Sometimes that can take a little bit longer, but it's actually really, really easy. And I remember somebody asked me, can I make a video showing how to cut? And I might do that. The way I do it is unbelievably easy, and anybody can learn from it. But, you know, my offset struggles, and I'm not the best at that. I also thought that maybe I could make a video on that. I have a very weird way I do offset sometimes, and it's close to perfect, but it's still off. Not every time I can get away with doing this kind of trick, but, you know, maybe that could be another video I can make, and maybe some of you can help explain to me how to make it better. But this is my flaw. Offset is my flaw, and StepMania is not perfect with their syncing either. They definitely make mistakes, but generally speaking, that is one thing they are much better at than I am, is offset placement. And, you know, I'm also not good at syncing notes. Like, let's say the vocalist goes off sync and you're left with the unholy rainbow color in your step chart. I'm not the best at that. I try my best, but I'm not the best. And to add to that, if I am already starting on an offset that's not perfect, that makes syncing something like that even harder. So I would feel very safe and secure, you know, working with the people with StepMania if they would, you know, review my stuff. Since they're better at something than I am, I thought they could review my offset and spruce it up a bit and maybe alter some of the, you know, the offbeat vocal stuff, fix that up a bit if it's truly that off. And I would be very happy with that. So that was the value I saw in it for me. You know, we would try to just work together and just make the best pack. Just make the best pack possible. That's what I've been wanting. That's what I've been trying to do. And it's just, after all these years, nothing. And it's to the point where I don't even remind them. Like, maybe once a year I'd remind, hey, there's a DM. It would be nice if you replied to it. But, you know, I don't know what's going on. And, you know, if you're wondering about the future of StepMania, I am in some of their, like I said, their private channels, and I see what's going on. If you're wondering, were they even working on 6? Yeah, they were. They had some songs. What songs were they? Well, I'm not going to tell you, because that's, you know, that's private information. That would be rude of me to tell you. But if you're wondering what's going on now, absolutely nothing. The game is completely stagnant. It's kind of a shame, and I remember there were talks. I have to keep a watch on this clock I have down here. Okay, I still have some more time. I might have to get up and go check on something, by the way, just letting you know. I'm sorry I did that last time. That's kind of annoying, but I remember there were talks about, like, StepMania 5 maybe being their last mix. I'm glad they finished it. As far as StepMania 6, I have no idea. The one thing I can hope for them is that if they don't release, like, you know, their usual amount of songs, or even if they don't release any songs at all, I really hope that they can finish up and share the theme at the very least. Because while I'm not a fan of the StepMania themes personally, that doesn't mean I don't appreciate it. I definitely did not like 1 through 3. And, you know, I don't really use the themes mainly because I really want all the step types to show when you're cruising through song select. That kind of bothers me when I'm looking through charts and I can't see that information. But I really do like what they do with what they did with 4 through 6. And it was kind of a time where, you know, Simply Love was plaguing everything. And I get why Simply Love is used. I get it has great options, but from an artistic standpoint of view, I I can't stand Simply Love. I just don't want to look at it. It has to be the ugliest theme I have ever seen. And StepMania was brave. It did something different. It's very colorful. I really like how colorful it is. It's a little bit too cartoony for my liking, but that's okay. So is My Little Pony. I mean, it's probably done intentionally. But at the very least, I hope they're able to release StepMania 6. And I wish them the best. I want to really emphasize this. I am not StepMania's competition. I am not their rival. I'm not their enemy. I have absolutely no problem with working alongside people who write DDR charts. The reason why In the Hooves Pony It Up exists is simply because I didn't want to censor myself. I didn't want to butcher my creative writing so badly to the point where I wouldn't even want to make step charts to begin with. That's how much I really hate DDR stepping. But I'm not bothered that other people want to step. And I really, really, truly wanted to work together. So it doesn't look good. It doesn't even look possible at this point. Maybe there's hope. And I just want to say, if you bring this up to them, please be nice. Please be nice. Don't be rude. Don't be angry. If this is something you were looking forward to, all I ask is you be nice. And chances are, if you bring this up to them anyway, they're not even going to reply, because they don't really reply to me anytime I kind of bring this topic up. And it's just, it's sad and it's frustrating. But that was another reason why this pack took a long time. I wanted to give them one last chance to respond. And, if it doesn't happen by now, I don't know if I'm still going to be open about it when it comes to Hooves 4. And I just want to say, if there's any of you who are thinking about, or maybe who are interested in wanting to make a step team and continue Hooves, I'll talk about it. I had plans for Elias to make steps with me, like lower difficulties, and people were very excited about that. And unfortunately, it didn't work out, and that is mainly due because he got a new job, and his job gives him insane hours, and he just doesn't have the time or the patience, and 9-panel was a little bit rough for him. It was a little bit hard for him to write for, so unfortunately that didn't work out between us. But if there's anybody out there who is passionate about ponies, loves legacy stepping, I could honestly use a sinker, if anything, even not when it comes to making charts, just a sinker. Talk to me, okay? So that's the second reason. I am still watching the clock. Okay. The third reason, and I really don't know how personal I want to get with this, because this is my life I'm talking about. I had 3 very, very traumatic injuries. And the first injury I had, I took a wicked, nasty ankle bump with a very heavy metal object that was swung at me quickly. And it was an accident. It was a complete accident, but I got hit. And I remember being stun locked for like 5 full seconds, not moving, in pain. And then I walked it off like nothing happened. And then a few days later, I had extreme swelling. Maybe from the walking. Maybe I should have just, rested it, but I kept walking. And the joints in my foot were so crooked it looked like my foot was deformed. And it got so bad to the point where I was kind of like hobbling on crutches, and I was getting ready to like walk the dog on crutches, and my family's like, you need to go see a doctor. So I did. And I got an x-ray, and nothing showed. And the doctor, this guy's an ankle specialist, and I'm pointing out, you see the swelling? He goes, yeah. I go, you see the joints, how they're crooked compared to the other foot that didn't get hit? He goes, yeah. And he's like, you're fine. That's normal. I'm like, really? That's normal? So I wanted an MRI. I never got one. I went to physical therapy. That helped a little bit. But that took a long time away from stepping. It really did. I was really miserable, and I had to focus on getting better. And shortly after that, I had a very, very traumatic stomach issue, and that lasted many, many months. I was in agony. I'm not kidding when I say that this was the first time in life that I ever felt like something so bad happened to me that I thought I was going to die, quite literally. And I remember having to take a lot of time away from that. But out of all the 3 bad things that happened to me, the major ones, it's the least of my concerns, because if there's one thing that really brought me back on my feet without me, reading about anything or just, what my body just naturally wanted, it was intermittent fasting. I know that's kind of like a craze among the hippies out there these days, but it really helped. It really helped. And I still have issues, but every year I have very, very slow improvement. So as long as there's some kind of improvement, I really don't care. Even though that was a horrible thing I went through. I was in agony for months. As long as I see some kind of improvement, I'm happy. And the last one, this one's the Pinkie Pie doozy. This one's the one that I'm worried about the most. I had a very, very bad back injury. And you know how when you do something stupid, you're like, well, I was an idiot. I deserve that. Well, I really can't say that about this because I didn't really have any alarming symptoms. And the symptoms that I had, I didn't make any kind of connection to, what I was doing at the moment. And they weren't instantaneous. It was like after a couple of hours. But, I moved a heavy object. I didn't have any difficulty. I moved it with ease. And, it was, I'll actually say what it was. It was kind of like a park bench with a table. And one thing you got to know about me is, I'm sure I share a lot of negative stereotypes about bronies, but going outside and getting sunlight is not one of them. And I have an absolute obsession with sunbathing. Like I'm a sun worshiper, not in the literal sense, but I love to get every minute I can. I love to get sunlight on my skin. And it was the summertime, and somebody kept, and I go there to play chess in the park, by the way. And somebody moved the table into the shade. That's not where it originally was. And I kept, moving it back. And, after the fourth or fifth time, I had serious problems. Problems to the point where I couldn't sit up straight. I couldn't sit in a chair. Laying down and sleeping was miserable. And, I said, again, I got to go see the doctor. So I went, he gave me an x-ray. I said, oh, great. Just like the ankle x-ray, it's going to show nothing. Well, the picture came back and stuff showed up. I'm not going to go exact. There were three problems going on. I'm not going to go into details about what they were. But from my understanding, I'm going to be in pain and discomfort for the rest of my life. And, I went to physical therapy. I graduated. I might have to go back. I did get a lot stronger. I felt like I got stronger all over my body, except really in the area that's the problem. And I'm a mess. And, I'm not telling you guys this for sympathy. I'm not looking for, oh, boo-hoo, Brian, please feel better in the comments. I don't care. This is life. The only reason I'm telling you this is because, if these three things didn't happen, you would have had this pack out to play at least a year, if not more, earlier. And these injuries really set me back. And it's very frustrating to me now because, I have a stand-up desk I like to use. I don't like to sit. Even before the injuries, I didn't like to sit. But now I really hate sitting. And I'll use it, and then my ankle starts killing me. And my ankle kills me, so I sit down to write a step chart. I have a stand-up desk that I like to work on the step charts. And then I sit down, and then my back is killing me. And it's like, I can't work on anything. I'm in pain. I'm exhausted. I'm completely out of focus. And, it's kind of like, I wish I was a pony. Now I wish I was a pony. Why? Because I'm pretty sure our equine friends can sleep standing up. And boy, do I wish that I could sleep standing up. You may be wondering, why am I laying on the floor doing this video? Now you know. This is a position, it eventually gets a little awkward for my back. But I really don't like to sit in a chair. I'm not going to sit in a chair. I'm not going to stand up. I'm most comfortable in this position on the floor because of my back. That's why I'm doing this video on the floor, by the way. So, I don't know what this means for my future. I do know that I'm permanently retired from playing dance games, and, I'm not hurt by that. I know if something like that happened to a lot of you, maybe you would be very upset. But truth be told, I was already kind of permanently retired before these things happened to me. Before this, maybe on my birthday, once a year, I would go to the arcade and play Pump It Up or something, and I'm well out of my prime now. I have a lot of other issues going on besides these injuries, but the best I was doing was something like a level 17 without the bar, and getting all perfects, and that's nothing special. I'm way out of my prime. I used to be very big into no bar. Like, I wasn't one of those weenies who shamed others for using the bar. I used the bar when I had to, but I tried my best to not use it. I really like the aspect of improving your balance. And that's what I was kind of going for with that. But, it's quite clear I'm done. And that's okay. It's okay because I had my fun when I was younger. And that fun, I learned a lot, which would ultimately help me make step charts. And it's okay because, playing dance games, I find it, a little bit selfish. You're just focusing on yourself. And that's okay. That's okay. That's not a real problem. But I really like giving back to other people. I remember when I had my Cobalt Flux, I still have my Cobalt Fluxes. What am I talking about? It's just that they don't work with Windows 10 for some reason. But when I had them, I would download community packs. And I would say, wow, this is so cool that other people do this for the community. This is really nice, but I don't see myself having the patience to make step charts, and now I'm older, and I really enjoy, having somebody request something and fulfilling it. And I like to make other people happy. I like to focus on giving back to the community because when I was younger, I played other community charts. So now I feel like it's my turn to give back, and I love it. I love doing that. So I'm not sad that I'm permanently retired from playing dance games, and it's okay. It's okay. So that was the third reason. That was a very big reason. And how much time do I have? I'm just trying to think. Okay. I have a little bit more time, but I do have to go check on something. So I have Twilight Sparkle here. Oh no. She's here, and she's going to give you a list of reasons why DDR is better than ITG. Okay, she's going to talk to you now. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. What did Twilight Sparkle say with her list? Nothing? Well, that's actually probably correct then. Anyway, okay. I guess I'll link this to the next topic I wanted to talk about. I've been asked about commissions a few times, and I wanted to just bring this up real quick. I'm not really at the moment interested in commissions for, I guess, psychological reasons. And that is because, whenever I make a step chart, I always give you guys the best work that I can possibly give you. That's not to say that later on that I won't get better as a stepper. And believe me when I say this, I look back at Hooves 1 and 2, and I like the packs, but there are some things that I wouldn't do that today that I did back then. I still make small adjustments that I see over time, and that's good. It's good that I'm improving, I guess, but I always give the best for whenever I'm writing. Ever since my first step file, I've always tried to give my best. And if somebody paid me money to make a step chart, well, I would want to give better than my best. And that's just not humanly possible for me. So if I tried to go over the top with my step charts, that would be an absolute disaster for the charting experience. So maybe in the future, I might be a little bit more open to it, especially since, so much of a big focus is on Pony right now. I'm sure other people would want me to do other things. And believe me when I say this, I would love to do another project. That doesn't mean I'm sick of ponies. I'd love to do ponies and something else, but between the pain I'm going through and everything else and how exhausting it is for me, there's just no time for that. Right now, it just has to be ponies, I feel like. And I feel like people just kind of expect me. It's like part of my identity with step making right now. Just keep doing ponies. But I'm a little uncomfortable about it. Maybe I'll talk about it later if people really want it. But I am thinking about putting up a tip jar. Because yes, I could use some financial help right now. And that would take away all the psychological pressure. Because nobody's paying for a specific chart. Just, drop a buck or two and say, hey, Brian, keep up the good work, something like that. And that's fine. And I would feel a lot more comfortable with that. Maybe way later on I can think about doing commissions if some of you really want that. But, I'm trying to save some money up. What am I going to do with that money? Well, there are 3 things. One, I want to keep doing what I do for you guys. And I want to save up for a couple of laptops. And if some of you remember, like, my original pony chart uploads, they were much better recording quality. And that's because I had a $2,000 gaming PC a very, very long time ago. And I killed it. Why did I kill it? Because I'm an idiot. I didn't mess with the settings. I didn't set anything too extreme. I didn't touch the settings. But because my room is very closet-like, and it gets to be well over 100 degrees in here in the summer, and also a lot of dust accumulates quite rapidly. Between the heat and the dust, that computer died within 5 years. And that loss was pretty devastating. $2,000 is a lot of money to go down the toilet for just 5 years. And I bought a laptop, a $100 brand new laptop with that $2,000 PC. And I was also given a laptop from a family member who didn't want the laptop anymore because they were convinced it's going to die. And by some miracle, it's still functioning somehow, some way. But both of those laptops are on their way out. The newer one, and yeah, that new one I bought, that was with the first wave of Windows 10 PCs. It still got the Cortana sticker on it and everything. There are things wonky with it, like the USB ports work when they want to. The keypad, or the keyboard on the laptop, the Q and W keys from the top to the bottom and to the left side work, but anything to the right of that is dead. It's completely dead. So I have to plug in an external keyboard to make my step charts on it, and I swear, whenever there's like a Windows 10 update or something, the computer feels like it's unusable for sometimes like up to 3 days. It's really pitiful. That computer is probably barely powerful enough to run Windows 10 as it is. And, as far as the other one, I'm just expecting that one to die of a heat death or something. That laptop, you just touch it, it's hot. It makes a lot of fan noises. And, speaking of my other computer that died from the heat and dust, definitely know the graphics card is dead. The cooling system is shot. I'm an idiot with technology, so I don't know, maybe I'll have a friend who can look at it and tell me, is it even worth repairing? I don't do that kind of stuff. I'm really not a tech guy at all. I know a lot of people assume that because I make step charts, and usually when people play video games or something like that, they usually like technology, but I'm really not one of those people. So maybe that can be fixed up later. I don't know, but I want to save up for 2 laptops. I'm not going to go all out and buy like a super gaming computer. I'm just going to get something that can run Project OutFox nicely, and I really want them both to have HDMI ports. Why do I need 2 laptops? Well, I need 2 laptops because I make mistakes. And when I make mistakes in step charts, I need to fix them. So let's say I have a chart transition, whether that's in the groove to pump it up or 9-panel singles to 9-panel doubles. I make these transitions, and 95% of the time, not all the time, but most of the time, I want the step stats to align perfectly. And if they don't when I intend them to, that means I obviously made a mistake. So how do I find that mistake? Well, I got to get the charts on 2 different computers. I hit the N key, and depending on how fast the BPM is, I will go up either 5 to 10 measures at a time, and I will delete little by little by little until eventually the step stats align perfectly. And on that last delete, I know that the mistake is approximately in that area somewhere. So I hit escape, don't hit save, obviously. I reopen it, and I usually find it, and if I don't, then I'll go back to that same area, and I'll delete the chart one measure at a time, and then I will land on the exact measure where that mistake is, and of course I will find it and fix it. That sounds very, very tedious and stressful. It's the only way I know how to do it. So yes, I technically do need 2 computers to write step charts because I'm certainly not perfect. I still make mistakes to this day, especially when I'm in pain and I'm just out of my mind, tired to the point where I'm dizzy. It's sometimes writing is really hard, and yeah, I need to fix those mistakes. Why do I want HDMI ports? Well, step charting is fun, it's challenging, but sometimes it can be really stressful. And let's just say I make a step chart and I realize that I missed a beat, and I'm thinking about it, and I realize that the beat absolutely needs to be there. So I look back. Is there a mine? A group of mines to fall back on? Is there a jump to fall back on so that I can fix this pattern and add the beat in? And if the answer is no, well, guess what? I have to delete nearly the whole chart, start over sometimes. And stuff like that can really, really get on my nerves. And instead of just worrying about it and losing sleep, what I like to do is just write it on a notepad and forget about it. And I have my amigo, Elias. We like to play emulators, and that's what I do when my back and my ankle is not killing me. I really like to unwind and play some emulation games with him, and he helped me set it up. Like I said, I'm a bonehead. I wouldn't even know how to set that up myself. We really like to play games like Mortal Kombat Trilogy, all the puzzle games like Bust-A-Move 99, Dr. Mario 64, the new Tetris, Pokemon Puzzle League, aka Planet Puzzle League, aka Tetris Attack. That game's had a lot of names, but those are games you don't have to invest a lot of time in. You can just play for a few minutes or whatever, and it's fun. It's always fun. So that's why I want an HDMI port, because the laptop screen is just not big enough to play a game like that on. And if I had like a super gaming PC anyway, I don't really have the time to play like some of the games that I used to play that take a little bit more of my time. These games are nice, quick, and easy, and they're a lot of fun. So, that's why I want an HDMI port. Okay, so a couple of computers. What else do I want to do with that money? I am watching the time. My dog. My dog is the love of my life. I am so obsessed with her to the point where I consider it a mental disorder. I'm absolutely crazy about her, and she recently became a senior, so I just want a little bit of money saved for her in case she needs like some kind of supplement or special food. She already gets supplements for her joints, and I love to go all out for her, so I would just like to save a little bit of money for her. And yeah, I'm absolutely crazy for her. And remember, just to give you an example how nuts I am, remember that time when I said I was dying? Like, I literally believed that. You know what I did? I didn't call family. I didn't, say anything to my friends. I took her to her favorite park. I let her off leash, and she loves to just romp around and sniff the plants that grow by the lake. And I was just watching her, and I remember I was crying. To some extent, I was crying because I really believed my life was going to end. But I realized that I was way more upset that if I'm to go, nobody's going to give her the kind of treatment that I can give. And it's kind of funny because when I was at my absolute worst, I remember she was traumatized, but when I was at the park with her and I was in extreme discomfort, she was happy again. And she was happy because dogs know when something is truly wrong, and they also know when people are going to be okay. And she knew at that point that I was going to be okay. I didn't realize that yet, but yeah, she's amazing, and I need a dog, and I hate to realize that dogs are mortal. I don't believe they deserve to die. And that's something that's very upsetting to me, because I wish I could have her forever. But, I hate to think about it, but any dog that's here, they get treated beyond royalty. Just for some things that I do. Sometimes she gets home-cooked salmon and sweet potato. She gets an egg every day with some sardines. I like to go all out for her. And believe it or not, she's extremely important to my mental well-being. And just having her in the same room as I'm doing my step charts, that's very comforting to me. So I want to save a little bit of money for my dog. I love her to pieces. maybe I'll upload a video of her or something. She is truly the best. And how much time do I have? Okay, I have a little more time. Lastly, what would I do with any, money if it was given to me? Well, just life in general. Food bills are insanely expensive. I don't own common luxuries like a car or a phone. In fact, this device that I am recording on right now is not even my own. I am borrowing it from somebody. It might be important to have those things in the future. Thank goodness the supermarket is only 2 blocks away from me. It might be nice to have a little cash saved for an emergency, whether a family member or a friend needs some help too. So that's it. That's what I would like to save for. And of course, if any money is donated, I will prioritize the computers first, because that's obviously about you guys. I want to keep doing this for you guys. I really enjoy it. It can be stressful, but I really like to make other people happy, and that's really why I enjoy stepping as much as I do, even though it's very difficult for me right now. I don't know how often I can be uploading stuff. I'm trying my best. Like I said, I have about 20 songs I have to review and test, and I'll share them. I also wanted to say that I won't hold the pack back. Like if I make another 100 songs, no promises, but I might go back to doing an update if like 20 to 25 songs again, depending on what you want. And truth be told, if anybody DM'd me and like they wanted to play the Who's 3-pack earlier, I was willing to give the unfinished stuff. Like, I understand people wanted to play it, but yeah, I just wanted to say that. Obviously, if I put a tip jar, there's going to be no obligation to give. I don't want to be like those greedy Twitch streamers or YouTubers or whatever and say something like, if I don't get enough viewers, I'm not going to start the Twitch stream, or if I don't get enough likes on Facebook, I won't make another video, or if I don't get enough donations, I won't release. No. If I get money or I get nothing, I will do my absolute best to continue to give everything away for free. So that's really my hope with that. And I just wanted to say, yeah, I'm not done yet. The people from Project OutFox are also looking for donations. I want to say, and this is why I'm a little bit hesitant to put a tip jar up, because they're looking for donations, and I understand that nobody really has money these days. So if I had a tip jar and, so maybe you have a little money you want to donate and you can't donate to both me and OutFox, well, I just want to say, please donate to the people, prioritize the people at OutFox over me. They work ridiculously hard. I swear, sometimes when I'm in pain and I'm up at the most inappropriate hours of the night, I look on Discord and they're still working. Like, I swear, maybe Joust is a cyborg or something, I don't know, but they are working so very hard and they don't stop. That's not to say that I don't work hard on my charts. I work very, very hard. But this whole project, all these 9-panel charts, none of this would exist without them. So I'm going to say, please donate to them, whether I put a tip jar up or not. I'm also not on their development team, so there's no conflict of interest. And what was I going to say? If you're a poor bastard like me and you don't have any money to give, they really appreciate it if you make custom content, especially if they're OutFox exclusive mode. I know they really appreciate it, the 9-panel charts that I made. So I know they would really appreciate it if you made some charts that are exclusive. And, as far as the game modes go, I really got to wrap things up soon. I wanted to say, am I tempted to write for other game modes in OutFox? Yes, I am, believe it or not. I don't know if I will, because 9-panel is truly my biggest focus. But I'm very, very tempted to look at Step Stage. Now, Step Stage is kind of interesting to me because it's kind of like, I don't want to say the name half doubles, like pump half doubles. That name doesn't make any sense. I don't like to call it half doubles. I like to call it centered doubles. That makes a lot more sense to me. But it also kind of reminds me of Neon FM. Now, if you didn't know, that was supposed to be a dance game for your feet originally. There are some old videos on YouTube about that. And they were circles. And stepping in the circles is kind of interesting to me. And if I do go ahead and make a chart for Step Stage, I'll donate it to Serenity. That's their kind of like pet pack project that they have at OutFox. So I'll think about that. And Yeah, we're pretty much out of time before this camera runs out. I think I have one more video part to make, unfortunately. This is getting so long. So, yeah, I guess I'll be back, and I'll have a part 3, and hopefully not a part 4, because this is getting ridiculously long. I'll see you guys in the next video.